Imagine a farm where the dominant sound is not the mooing of cows or the clucking of chickens, but the deep rumbling of creatures that carry in their DNA the living memory of a prehistoric past. There, amidst tropical landscapes and structures specially designed to simulate swamps, one of the most curious, profitable, and, for many, surprising activities of modern agriculture is born: crocodile farming. For a long time, the image of the crocodile was associated with fear. Creatures considered ruthless killers who reigned in the rivers and swamps of ancient times with their sharp teeth and piercing eyes. They were symbols of danger, savagery, and an untamable nature. But times have changed, and with the advancement of science, technology, and agriculture itself, these menacing-looking beasts have gone from being prehistoric villains to protagonists of a billion-dollar production chain. Today, crocodiles are raised on large-scale farms, not only for their exotic meat, but mainly for their highly prized leather, which is used to make luxury handbags, exclusive shoes, and fashion items that grace the red carpets and shop windows of the most prestigious brands on the planet. The journey of this transformation begins on breeding farms, many of which are located in tropical countries in Africa, Asia, South America, and Australia. These enterprises, which resemble industrial facilities more than conventional farms, are equipped with artificial tanks, heating systems, humidity control, and specific feeding areas. Everything is designed to replicate the natural habitat of crocodiles, but with almost surgical precision. The animals are monitored from birth, and this, by the way, begins in controlled incubators, where the eggs are carefully turned and heated to specific temperatures to ensure that each hatchling has the best chance of surviving and growing up healthy. The feeding of the crocodiles is a separate chapter. Here, agricultural knowledge comes into play with full force. After all, feeding an animal that, in nature, lives off hunting requires an ingenious adaptation of the production system. The crocodile's diet on farms is rich in protein and precisely balanced, often made from slaughterhouse waste, fish, and byproducts from other types of farming. This strategy not only ensures the animal's rapid development, but also reduces the waste of inputs and makes full use of the food chain within the agro-industrial sector itself. As the months go by, or years depending on the type of farming, the crocodiles reach the ideal point for slaughter. This process does not happen randomly, nor is it violent or disorganized as many might imagine. In fact, it is a meticulous operation, planned based on criteria of animal welfare and industrial efficiency. The crocodiles are transported to processing centers that look more like high-tech laboratories. There, trained specialists are responsible for carrying out the slaughter quickly and humanely, avoiding the animal's suffering and preserving the quality of the products that will be extracted. Leather, of course, is the crown jewel. Every inch of crocodile skin can be worth a small fortune, depending on the species, texture, absence of scars, and uniformity of the material. It is this leather that, after undergoing tanning, coloring, and treatment processes, becomes the item of desire of the world's elite. But the story doesn't stop there. Crocodile meat, considered a nutritious food with a flavor similar to chicken, is gaining ground in fine dining restaurants, while bones and teeth are used to make cosmetics, supplements, and even handmade jewelry. The most impressive thing is to think how this production chain, previously unimaginable, has grown to the point of generating billions of dollars every year. Multinational companies invest heavily in genetic research, species management, and sustainability. Universities develop studies to improve the quality of meat and leather. Governments create specific legislation to regulate the breeding of these animals. And in the midst of all this, the modern farmer, who previously only dealt with cattle, chickens, or pigs, now specializes in raising one of the oldest predators on the planet. This new type of agriculture requires not only technical knowledge, but also sensitivity to deal with animals whose wild nature is always latent. A crocodile farmer needs to understand the behavior of reptiles, their growth phases, their environmental needs, and, above all, know that every detail makes a difference, from the composition of the feed to the temperature of the water in the tanks. It is not an easy task, but for those who see the future of animal production boldly, it is a unique opportunity to explore a highly profitable and still little-known niche. Agriculture, in the purest sense of the word, has always been about domesticating nature for the sake of human survival and progress. From the times when we learned to grow wheat and domesticate goats, to today, when we clone plants and genetically modify seeds to resist the climate, the spirit of agriculture has always been innovative. Crocodile farming is just another step in this long journey of adaptation and rational use of the resources that nature offers. While some people still associate crocodiles with dangers in the rivers of Africa or the Amazon, others now see them as symbols of luxury, sophistication, and even sustainability. After all, many of the farms that farm them operate with low environmental impact practices, use organic waste, respect natural cycles, and even contribute to the preservation of endangered species by reducing the pressure on illegal hunting. And so, what began as an almost artisanal practice in some communities in the Australian outback or in Asian villages has become a globalized industry, with cutting-edge technology, demanding markets, and a production chain that unites farmers, engineers, designers, chefs, and environmentalists. Each bag sold, each exotic dish served, each decorative piece made with crocodile bone carries within itself the story of a farm, of a breeder, of an animal that, in other times, would have been feared, but that today is cultivated, valued, and transformed. This is the beauty of modern agriculture, its ability to reinvent itself. Whether it's an organic tomato plantation, a dairy farm, or a crocodile farm, the essence is the same. Produce consciously, respect the cycle of life, and generate wealth in a sustainable way. And in this sense, crocodiles are no longer just predators of the past, but are now protagonists of a new era in global agricultural production. Let's take a deep dive, almost as if we were entering the very swamp where these animals first emerged millions of years ago. Imagine yourself walking slowly through a farm that looks more like a modern nature sanctuary, but with all the precision of a scientific laboratory. The sun is beating down, the air is thick and humid, and the predominant sound is not the song of birds or the rustle of wind through the leaves, but the subtle snap of scales sliding through the water and the tense silence of predators in a latent state. We are on a crocodile farm, a universe where traditional agriculture meets the sophistication of biotechnology and the luxury industry. For centuries, crocodiles have inhabited the human imagination as mythological creatures, symbols of fear, brutal strength, and the most primitive survival. The mere mention of these reptiles' names conjures up images of gigantic mouths, full of sharp teeth, ready to attack without mercy. However, humanity, with its endless capacity for reinvention, has transformed what was once a symbol of terror into a powerful source of wealth, innovation, and even art. Modern crocodile farming is not just an agricultural practice. It represents a revolution that has redefined the way we view the relationship between humans and wild animals. Today, more than 30 countries are involved in the industrial farming and processing of crocodiles. It is no longer a matter of lone hunters in rustic canoes gliding down tropical rivers. We are talking about a truly global network that includes state-of-the-art facilities, rigorous health protocols, genetic engineering, environmental control, and, of course, farmers. Men and women who have left behind the classic image of straw hats and hoe and have begun to operate as managers of living biological complexes. Countries such as Thailand, Australia, South Africa, the United States, and China are emerging as the main protagonists of this industry that moves billions of dollars. In each of these places, there are farms that occupy vast areas. Imagine something around 100,000 square meters, with tanks organized as if they were aquatic neighborhoods, each one housing thousands of crocodiles in different stages of life. Each space is meticulously designed: controlled temperature, balanced diet, safe structure for handling. Everything is designed to ensure the healthy growth of animals that, even after generations of being raised in captivity, continue to carry in their instincts the lethal force of a predator. And you may ask yourself, why so much effort, so much technology, so much care for an animal that seems so difficult to handle? The answer lies in the unique shine of these reptiles'